Week 13 Day 1. Importune ask urgently sense. Although Eddie was not sanguine about his chances, he continued to importune his boss for a winter vacation since importunate adjective formal 1 continually asking for something, in a forceful and annoying way, an importunate beggar crowd to an importunate request or question is repeated and forceful in an annoying way, importunate demands importune verb T formal 1, to make repeated forceful requests for something, usually in a way that is annoying or inconvenient. As a tourist, you are importuned for money the moment you step outside your hotel. 2. To request sex with someone in return for payment. He was arrested for importuning a young boy outside the station. In controvertible and deniable sense, the experts in controvertible testimony corroborated the police report sense convertible adjective 1 able to be arranged in a different way and used for a different purpose. A convertible sofa bed 2 specialized describes a type of money that can be easily exchanged into other types of money. A convertible currency bond convertible noun see also soft top a car with a soft roof, which can be folded back. A Volkswagen convertible sense converter sense noun see also converter a machine or device that changes something into a different form. Surreptitious stealthy, accomplished by secret sense with a surreptitious movement. The meticulous bookkeeper emptied the ashtray sense surreptitious adjective done secretly, without anyone seeing or knowing. She seemed to be listening to what I was saying, but I couldn't help noticing her surreptitious glances at the clock. Surreptitiously adverb Joe surreptitiously had a look in the answer book. Surreptitiousness noun New Haven place of safety sense in inclement extreme bad weather. Our barn is a haven for many animals sense haven noun see a safe or peaceful place. The garden was a haven from the noise and bustle of the city. They wanted to provide safe havens for the refugees. Subjugate conquer sense the dictator used duplicity in order to subjugate his rivals sense subjugate defeat verb T formal, to defeat people or a country and rule them in a way which allows them no freedom. Subjugation noun U formal they are bravely resisting subjugation by their more powerful neighbor sense subjugate control verb T formal, to treat yourself, your wishes or your beliefs, as being less important than other people or their wishes or beliefs. She subjugated herself to her mother's needs. Journalists must subjugate personal political convictions to their professional commitment to fairness and balance. To take the bull by the horns, to face a problem directly since after several days of delay, the minister decided to take the bull by the horns, and so he sent for the Vandals. A visit to the president in the winter of 1941. Enrico Fermi and a number of other distinguished scientists importuned President Franklin Roosevelt for authorization to begin an all-out effort in atomic energy research. The scientists were alarmed by incontrovertible evidence of surreptitious German experiments, and they asked for speedy approval. Italian-born Enrico Fermi was the ideal man to lead the atomic research. Already in 1938 he had won the Nobel Prize for work with radioactive elements and neutron bombardment. Fermi had found a haven from the fascists. His wife was Jewish and he knew that if the Germans were the first to develop an atomic bomb it would mean that Hitler could subjugate the entire world. The international race for atomic supremacy was on. Week 13 Day 2. Ultimate, final sense gaining better housing for all was the ultimate goal of the zealous reformer sense ultimate adjective, before noun most extreme or important, because either the original or final, or the best or worst. Of course the ultimate responsibility for the present conflict without doubt lies with the aggressor. The ultimate decision about who to employ lies with Andrew. Infidelity is the ultimate betrayal. The ultimate luxury cruiser ultimate noun the ultimate in STH the best or most extreme example of something, it describes the hotel, as the ultimate in luxury. I mean, tackling 6 men single-handedly, that really is the ultimate in stupidity. Ultimately adverb 1 finally, after a series of things have happened, everything will ultimately depend on what is said at the meeting with the directors next week. Ultimately, of course, he'd like to have his own business, but that won't be for some time. To use to emphasize the most important fact in a situation, ultimately, he'll have to decide. Eventuate to result finally sense a thorough investigation eventuated in a comprehensive report sense eventual adjective, before noun happening or existing at a later time or at the end, especially after a lot of effort, problems, etc., the Dukes were the eventual winners of the competition. Although the original budget for the project was $1 billion, the eventual cost is likely to be 50% higher. Eventually Adverb in the end, especially after a long time or a lot of effort, problems, etc., although she had been ill for a long time, it still came as a shock when she eventually died. It might take him ages, but he'll do it eventually. To give off sense, the mayor issued a diatribe criticism against companies whose smokestack emit poisonous fumes. Sense emit verb to send out a beam, noise, smell or gas. The alarm emits infrared rays, which are used to detect any intruder. The machine emits a high-pitched sound when you press the button. Emission noun when gas, heat, light, etc. is sent out. The Green Party have called for a substantial reduction in the emission of greenhouse gases by the UK to see an amount of gas, heat, light, etc. that is sent out. The increased use of natural gas will help reduce carbon dioxide emissions. Subterranean underground sense. After 2 years of confinement in a subterranean dungeon. Degree sense, the prisoner was thin and wan, sickly pale. Sense subterranean adjective under the ground, subterranean passages. A subterranean river. Viable practicable, workable sense when the schism split in the company was healed, a viable arrangement was worked out. Sense viable adjective one able to work as intended or able to succeed. In order to make the company viable, it will unfortunately be necessary to reduce staffing levels. Solar power is now a viable alternative to oil-fired water heaters. I am afraid your plan is not commercially, economically, financially, politically viable. Too specialized, able to continue to exist as or develop into a living being. There is a continuing debate about the age at which a human fetus can be considered viable. Viability noun. Rising costs are threatening the viability of many businesses. Specialized. As the world population of Hawaiian geese has shrunk to very small numbers, the bird's continuing viability is in doubt. Viably adverb. The lines share the major portion sense, because the salesman was essential to the business, he demanded the lion's share of the profits. The ultimate weapon takes shape. Enrico Fermi designed a device that could eventuate in a chain reaction. It consisted of layers of graphite, alternated with chunks of uranium. The uranium emitted neutrons, and their graphite slowed them down. Holes were left for long cadmium safety rods. By withdrawing those control rods, Fermi could speed up the production of neutrons, thus increasing the number of uranium atoms that would be split. When the rods were withdrawn to a critical point, then the neutrons would be produced so fast that their graphite and cadmium could not absorb them. In that manner a chain reaction would result. Slowly, Fermi's first atomic pile began to grow in a subterranean room at Columbia University. The big question remained: was it viable? Week 13, Day 3. Premise. Ground for a conclusion, a proposition of argument. Premises is also a kind of property. Since acting on the premise that there were no burglars around, the police became quite lax. Since premise noun. See an idea or theory on which a statement or action is based, plus that they had started with the premise that all men are created equal. The research project is based on the premise stated earlier. Premise. Verb T. Formal. To base a theory, argument, etc. on an idea, thought, or belief. He premised his argument on several incorrect assumptions. Jeopardize. Endanger. Since the trapeze artist was squeamish about having to jeopardize his life. Since jeopardize, UK usually jeopardize. Verb T. To put something such as a plan or system in danger of being harmed or damaged. She knew that by failing her exam she could jeopardize her whole future. Jeopardy noun. In jeopardy, in danger of being damaged or destroyed. The lives of thousands of birds are in jeopardy as a result of the oil spillage. Incredulous. Skeptical. Since after I had perused the Yankee lineup, I was incredulous about their chances of winning. Since incredulous adjective. Not wanting or not able to believe something, and usually showing this. A few incredulous spectators watched as Patterson, ranked 23rd in the world, beat the champion. Incredulity noun. He felt a sense of incredulity, anger and pain at the accusation made against him. Incredulously adverb. Did you see that? She asked incredulously. Permeate. To spread through. Sense a terrible odor, that was impossible to expunge permeated the skunk handler's clothing. Sense permeate, verb I usually plus adverb or preposition, T formal to spread through something and be present in every part of it. Dissatisfaction with the government seems to have permeated every section of society. A foul smell of stale beer permeated the whole building. The table has a plastic coating, which prevents liquids from permeating into the wood beneath. Permeable adjective formal. If a substance is permeable, it allows liquids or gases to go through it. Certain types of sandstone are permeable to water. The solvent passes through the permeable membrane to the solution. Soft and gas-permeable contact lenses are kinder to the eyes than hard lenses. Note, the opposite is impermeable. Permeability, noun formal, the ability of a substance to allow gases or liquids to go through it. Chalk has a high permeability, liquids easily pass through it. Propitious, favorable sense. At a propitious moment the flamboyant, colorful movie star made her grand entrance. Sense propitious adjective formal, likely to result in or showing signs of success. With the economy in the worst recession for 30 years, it was scarcely the most propitious time to start up a company. Propitiously adverb formal, out of the frying pan into the fire, to go from a difficult situation to a worse one. Sense I thought I had escaped, but actually I went out of the frying pan into the fire. The squash court experiment. As the pile grew, so did the entire project. Fermi moved his materials to an abandoned squash court under a football stadium at the University of Chicago. His pace accelerated because they were proceeding on the premise that the Germans were close to atomic success. 6 weeks after the pile had been started, its critical size was reached. 3 brave young men jeopardized their lives by ascending the pile, ready to cover it with liquid cadmium if anything went wrong. Almost 50 scientists and several incredulous observers mounted a balcony to watch. One physicist remained null on the floor. It was his job to extract the final cadmium-controlled rod. Unbearable tension permeated the atmosphere. Fermi completed his calculations, waited for a propitious moment, and then gave the signal. Week 13, Day 4. Surmise, guess. Since Anna had surmised that she would be charged a nominal sum, and so she was outraged. Since surmise, verb T formal, to guess something, without having much or any proof, plus that the police surmise that the robbers have fled the country. Surmise, noun C or U formal, a guess. My surmise turned out to be right. The article is pure surmise and innuendo. Curtailed, to cut short. Sense publication of the lurid terrible magazine was curtailed by the district attorney. Sense curtail, verb T, to stop something before it is finished, or to reduce or limit something. To curtail your holiday spending. The last government severely curtailed trade union rights. Curtailment, noun C or U, repress, to put down. Sense I had to repress my desire to interject my criticism during the debate. Sense repress, verb T1, to not allow something, especially feelings, to be expressed. He repressed a sudden desire to cry. 2. To control what people do, especially by using force. Repressed adjective, repressed anger, sexuality. English people are notoriously repressed and don't talk about their feelings. Repression, noun U1, when people are controlled severely, especially by force. The political repression in this country is enforced by terror. 2. The process and effect of keeping particular thoughts and desires out of your conscious mind in order to defend or protect it. An attitude of unhealthy sexual repression. Repressive adjective, a repressive cruel military regime. Sexually repressive. Repressiveness, noun U, cryptic, puzzling. Sense although his remarks appeared cryptic at first, we begin to see how really pertinent they were. Sense cryptic adjective, mysterious and difficult to understand. I received a cryptic message through the post. Cryptically adverb. Sense cryptic crossword, noun C, a type of crossword word game which has difficult clues that are not obvious in their meaning. Inchoate Euros. In an early stage. Sense the young couple was disappointed to see the inchoate state of their new house. Sense inchoate adjective, literary, only recently or partly formed, or not completely developed or clear. She had a child's inchoate awareness of language. To keep the pot boiling, to see that interest doesn't die down. Sense Dickens kept the pot boiling by ending each chapter on a note of uncertainty and suspense. The Italian navigator lands. The chain reaction took place precisely as Enrico Fermi had surmised. After 28 minutes he curtailed the experiment, giving the signal to replace the control rod. The normally reserved scientists, unable to repress their excitement, let out a tremendous cheer, and gathered around Fermi to shake his hand. Although it was time to celebrate, some of the men remarked soberly that the world would never be the same again. On December 2, 1942, the news of Fermi's achievement was relayed in a cryptic telephone message: "The Italian navigator has reached the New World." And how did he find the natives? Very friendly. The atomic age was inchoate but truly here. Week 13, Day 5. Drug smugglers beware. The cryptic message came to Officer Matt Jagaszek, drug search tomorrow. Ring Pig. Jagaszek, with the Union County, New Jersey Sheriff's Department Search and Rescue Unit, had to importune his superiors to put Ferris E. Lucas, a super sniffer, to work. Lucas is a Vietnamese pot-bellied pig with a fantastic olfactory sense that is 1,000,000 times greater than a human's and could be our ultimate weapon in breaking up the drug trade. A canine trainer offered the pig to Union City, suggesting that its intelligence and unique skill will make Lucas a viable fighter against illegal narcotics. Jagaszek has already taught his 55-pound porker detective how to find cocaine, hashish, and marijuana. While some law enforcement officials were incredulous at first, they quickly became believers when they saw the Sherlock Holmes of the stylocate underground drug sense that had eluded trained dogs. "I don't care if it's a dog, a pig, or an elephant," Jagaszek's boss said. "If it benefits the department and our community, we'll try it." "No,"